Oh, hi there. Cello. Hey now. Hola. And ba weep grana weep ninny bong. However you want to say it. Welcome to that Kev1 show. Hey friends, we have a hilarious, phenomenal guest in comedy force, Rosa McKenzie, the West Coast beast of comedy. But first, I literally was just handed some news, and this might be breaking news to a lot of you because it happened literally, well, I got to double check the time, but today for sure. Weird time to get it when we have a huge comedy guest here. But it's with sad breaking news here. And I just literally had to double check it. That's how recent this is. But it's with a heavy heart that we report on the passing of Matthew Perry of Friends has died today. Details are still coming in, but Perry passed due to apparent drowning in a hot tub. He, of course, played Friends Megaforce Chandler Bing, my favorite of the Friends bunch. And they're all great, mind you, but, I quoted Chandler so many times, like, can you be any more, this and that. Yeah. Wow. I mean, that's just quite a blow. I mean, it's a shock. I mean, while he did have some, dark times, we know that he turned his oceanfront residence into like a rehab facility. So it seemed like he was on the up and up. He'd also be known to work with Salma Hayek, Bruce Willis, Aaron Sorkin, and more. I know I saw his thumbnail on a lot of different stuff while perusing stuff on the streaming sites recently. I know he played a teacher recently. Man. And he just, in pop culture, he just owned that name Chandler. I mean, when I ran across people in my own life named Chandler, like a couple, I'd always be like, Chandler Bing, you always reference Friends, and you probably hate that, but, wow, it's, just really shocking. Not a lot of details, and kind of a lot of details that I would want to voice right now, because who knows how reliable they are at this point. He passed today, apparent drowning in a hot tub. I'm not sure if it was his hot tub or if he was a guest somewhere. But he was known for being hilarious. Yeah. My condolences to all his fans, former castmates, and all that. I know he was single with no children. But he was just, Rest in peace, Matthew Perry, who was 54. We'll be right back with tonight's guest. That Kev1 show is brought to you in part by T-Mobile, the Uncarrier. Please welcome to the show, comedian wonderkind Rosa McKenzie, producer and star of The Rooms. Hey, Rosa. How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Oh, amazing.
Glad to have me.
Oh, for sure. Now, a lot of people who are keen to comedy of the West Coast are familiar with your work, but how long have you been doing stand-up comedy?
I guess in total 5 years, but there was a good 3-year break there during the pandemic. So I'm just, over the last year, I've gotten back into it. But, there was definitely a hiatus, as there was for most people.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, speaking of that, with technology, with COVID, with all these different things that have made the world be essentially on season finale mode, have you had to pivot your comedy or change your routine on the fly much?
I mean, when we were first on lockdown, many people were doing Zoom open mics, which was very challenging.
Yeah.
And I mean, the open mic was only other comedians, so that was nobody, the public was not joining the Zoom call. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So it's wow. So no immediate reaction of how good you're doing, really, for the most part.
Right. If you could get some comics to laugh, that was cool. But then the audio was often so bad you couldn't really tell if people were laughing.
Yeah, I remember I'm an actor and everything. Well, everyone who listens knows me, but
I did one open mic night once. You might be able to relate to this, maybe. I don't know, probably. I did it once because, you know, everyone said, "Oh, you're funny, Kevin," and so I did it once in Portland, Oregon, and it was all right and everything. But like, I did notice that most of the audience was stand-up comedians on my open mic night. Maybe that's traditional, but it was funny. Like, instead of like the ha-has, I knew I was doing good when they said stuff like, "What was it? Keeper, keeper," and I'm like, "Keeper?" Like, "Oh, it's a keeper." Like, I was just, I don't know. It was kind of ridiculous.
Well, maybe I'm terrible because nobody has ever said that to me.
Well, so in the Zoom, like, was it like, I'm probably getting all the social media, like, vernacular wrong, but did you get a lot of hearts and thumbs up, or what did they do? How did you know you're doing, like, really
Sure.
good, like, during that? Is that
I mean,
how?
you could hear, yeah, you could like hear some laughter, you know, like, and it was just kind of a weird time, and I guess I pivoted in terms of like trying different things. Like I would have like a backdrop of like I had a Jaws shower curtain, so I would use that. I would like be in this big pink fluffy bathrobe. I would like put a banana in my pants and pretend I had a cock. I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, so there it was like
Yeah.
there were things to do to kind of like make it more fun.
Mm-hmm.
I would like use a vibrator as a microphone, you know. Like,
Yeah.
so it was like you could
Oh, yeah,
make it
because
kind
you
of,
wouldn't need it at all, because just your laptop or your tablet was your microphone, really, right? So, okay.
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can kind of have fun with it that way. But the appeal of that was like pretty short lived.
Yeah.
I think it lasted for, I don't know, maybe 6 months or something.
I wonder.
And maybe like people continue to do the Zoom mics, but I did not.
Yeah, there's probably some benefit to it, right? There's probably some, yeah. I don't know if anyone went viral from it at all or anything like that, but.
Yeah, I mean, it was, the in-person is much better.
Yeah.
Yeah, coming back in person was way better. They also did some like outdoor open mics, which I went to a couple times when people were starting to leave their houses again.
Okay.
So they had one like in a parking lot where the car, like everyone was like kind of staying in their cars, and it was like rainy, and so you would like honk your horn for laughter.
Oh my
And
God.
like you could actually hear it on the radio. Like it was like if you tuned into some channel on your car radio, you could hear the
Wow.
comics.
Huh.
It was like, yeah, people were very creative in their, pursuit to
That's
be
insane.
able to perform. So.
I mean, it's gotta be fruitful for like comedy writing, but also like it's very, in a way, niche and very like dated in a way too. So wow.
Yeah, but it was like, it was people were doing what they could.
Yeah. And I know, like me, you're from Portland, Oregon, right? And you moved to Hollywood. Yeah. So where are you right now?
I'm in the Hollywood Hills.
Ooh.
I'm staying at a condo. A friend of mine is renting to me, and then I'm moving into my own place in Hollywood this week. So I have I'm getting an apartment.
Oh, so very cool.
That's very exciting.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, I lived in Burbank when I was there. Yeah, I'm in
Portland.
Yeah, I'm in Portland currently, yeah. Born and raised as well, but yeah, I'm in Portland right now.
Okay. What were you saying about Burbank?
Oh, I was living in Burbank when I lived in Hollywood for about 5 years for acting. I was in Burbank, the Toluca Lake area.
Nice. Yeah. How did that go for you?
It went pretty good. It was kind of funny, coming from Portland to LA. I was in there at this very weird time where I came to LA, and everyone's like, "Oh, where are you from?" And I'm like, "Oh, Portland, Oregon, the best city on earth." Oh, golly gee, and and they're like, Portland, Maine. I'm like, "No, Portland, Oregon." They're like, "Oh," and no one. But when I was heading back here, everyone I said just in passing that I was from Portland, Oregon, or heading back home to Portland, Oregon. Everyone was literally almost like reading a script. They were all like, "I always wanted to go to Portland, Voodoo Donuts, Portlandia, yeah." And I'm like, "Oh my God, I don't know what happened exactly."
Yeah, I mean, everyone knows, when I say I'm from Portland, they know, but it's also the way that I present.
Oh, yeah?
They're like, yeah, I mean, just like my style or whatever, they're like, "Oh, yeah, you're from Portland."
Yeah.
No, I went to an open mic today, and one of the comedians after I went up, he's like, "Oh, yeah, we can tell that you're from Portland." You're like, suicidal with full sleeves, and
Oh my god.
like we can tell, we know you're from Portland. So there's definitely a look.
Yeah. Would you?
And I have a joke about suicidal ideation. That's why.
Oh,
it
okay. Yeah.
It wasn't just randomly saying that I'm suicidal, but I talked about it in a joke.
Would that be the name of your Netflix special?
What? Suicidal ideation?
Yeah. It's a unique term.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun. A lot of comics have it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh, yeah. And so would you say your comedic tone, like, came from Portland straight up, or just that you kind of represent it, like, on the outside for the most part?
I mean, where you live has to have some influence on your style, right? So I'm sure, yes, there's a lot that has come from being in Portland, but I would also consider myself like I've been called toxic.
Oh, yeah. And not that I should laugh, but you're laughing. That's like just
that?
by exes or by family, friends, by who? I mean, like, you know what I mean?
No, by comics.
Oh. Oh, wow. Toxic
but
comedy.
I don't take it as an insult. So I'm not like so some people are very PC in their comedy,
Yeah.
and that's great, and I have no issue with that. I tend to not be as PC, and so I talk about I like getting dick pics. I like, you know what I mean? Like, that's not really cool in Portland.
Oh, okay, so not toxic in the way, like, not PC, kind of.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like, I love a toxic masculine man. Like, that's the kind of guy I want. Like,
okay, so you're saying, like, old school Howard Stern and old Andrew Dice Clay, like, oh, that guy. No?
Yes. That is, yeah.
Hickory dickory dock, the chick bounced on my cock. 2:15, I gave her a squirt. I can't remember the rest of Dice Clay's thing, but.
Yeah, so there's like an element of that, which is, it's true for me, but some people, when I've been called toxic, it was never in like a accusatory, like, you're problematic. Like,
yeah, cancel Rosa. Seriously.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it was. I've been called toxic in a loving way.
Okay. You're like adult toxic. You're.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I have a joke that like I'm bisexual, but like many bisexual women, I only fuck men. So like
yeah.
That's.
Yeah.
So there's like truth to that. And because there are many women who say that they're bisexual, but they're not, and they like are in monogamous, like heterosexual relationships, whatever. So I kind of like poke fun at that, but like the Portland scene is like, that's a little edgy.
Yeah. Okay, I remember in high school, so maybe like talking in this one interview, and maybe nowhere else is a safe place to say this without me getting in trouble or toxic accusation thrown my way, but I remember in high school, like, and maybe around the same age, I don't know, where like, I remember there was a bubble of girls that would pretend to be gay, like it was just lesbian to be cool to be lesbian, but not really. You could tell they were just doing it to turn on guys and stuff. So I don't know if that was your one of your moves or not.
There's a term for that called barsexual.
Oh, okay.
Like when you're drunk at the bar, you'll make out with a chick to like turn on a guy or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I always I want to say I do not want anyone to feel bad about like queerness or coming out, or like I want everyone to feel good about sexuality.
Yeah.
So it's definitely not like
I concur. Yeah.
But I do so that's kind of an example of like how I could be considered toxic in a fun way.
Yeah. Toxic in a fun way. Is that like a quote? Is that a quote with an exclamation point on one of your like DVDs? I'd love that. Toxic in a fun way or something.
Yeah, that will be.
You're like, nah, it will now. Okay. So you like toxic guys. I like it. It's kind of oddly refreshing,
Sure. Yeah.
Like, you want, like, the young Bill Burr. Like, I just watched, how can we even say, isn't it this climate? Old Dads on Netflix. That was pretty funny. Bill Burr and all that.
Yeah, I haven't seen that yet.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, I saw Bill Burr when I was in Boston.
Ooh, you saw him live. Oh, cool.
I did, yeah.
Were you...
It was really great.
Yeah, were you on the set list at all? Or were you just in the audience straight up? Or what?
I was just in the audience.
Okay.
Oh, my God. Performing, like, opening for Bill Burr. Yes, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just went as an audience member.
Well, speaking of, like, yes, please, like, what is, like, your immediate, like, in-game dreams, like, right now? Like, would you just die to be, like, on SNL? Obviously, opening up for Bill Burr. Would you want your own, like, kind of Comedy Central show back when the strike's over? But you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that the goal for me, ultimately, is to be in a writer's room and to be writing, like, sitcom, television comedy, featured comedy, some, you know. But writing for, like, film or television is the end goal. And comedy stand-up is a really nice way to kind of practice writing skills. And there's, like, a low barrier to entry.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you can, like, you know, you went to an open mic. You can just go to an open mic.
Yeah.
And it's just, like, kind of whatever you choose to do with it. You can put a lot of work into, like, you know, formulating your set and making it better and, like, constantly improving. But, like, nobody's going to say, no, you can't perform at this open mic. You know what I mean? Like, you have so many opportunities to perform. So it's, like, that's why I kind of started, I think, was like, okay, well, you can't really just get into a writer's room, but I can, like, learn how to write jokes by doing stand-up. Okay. And then it becomes addictive.
Yeah.
And it's, like, it's just psychotic.
Okay.
A lot of these people are like, they're, like, doing 5 open mics a day and shit. Like, it's
Yeah. Huh. So would you say you're primarily a writer and, like, stand-up is almost a hobby or not? I had discovered you through stand-up, mind you, but,
Yeah, I mean, I would say I am more of a stand-up than a writer right now. I'm certainly performing more and doing that more than I'm writing, but I also...
Like, in your heart, though.
In my heart, I'm a writer, yeah.
And that's how you wrote The Rooms, that pilot that is getting some traction, right?
I wrote the pilot episode for that TV show when I was working in Boston, and it was really cool. I, like, took a class, like, online, like, you know, writing half-hour comedies and whatever, and that was great. And then when I came back to Portland, I was unemployed, and I was like, sure, why don't I just make it? Let's go ahead and make it. So I started a Kickstarter, and we raised $15,000.
Oh my gosh!
And I hired the crew and got the locations, and you know, but I did a lot. I did all of it.
Yeah. And so,
and we got to shoot it in Portland. It was great.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, it was really fun. It was probably the coolest thing I've ever done. It was really, really fun.
Huh. Very cool. And so for those uninitiated, like, what is The Rooms full on about? I know it's about 12-step programs, right?
Yeah, so I am in recovery for alcoholism. I'm coming up on 10 years of sobriety.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you very much. Yeah, November.
Nice.
November. So, like a few years ago, I just had this idea. I was like, well, wouldn't it be fun to have AA, like, as a mockumentary, like, in The Office?
Yeah.
You know, as, like, it would be the AA version of The Office. Because it's very conducive to that kind of style, to that genre, right? You have, like, the same group of people who are in the same place, like, every week.
Same lighting. It's almost like an office set often. The lighting and hi, my name's Bob. Hi, Bob. You know, like, you know,
right.
You almost see the names pop up. So yeah. Huh.
Right. Yeah. So super cheap to make too. And mockumentary is like my favorite genre. I love it so much. Like all the Christopher Guest films and
I love
Drop
that.
Dead Gorgeous.
What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Right.
So good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that was kind of my inspiration for that. So mockumentary set in an AA meeting, and that's what it is. And it's like based on my experience loosely, not super accurate. But there's like a woman who's like kind of a mess, and she comes into the meeting and she's like drunk, and she's kind of like drunk throughout the whole episode, like trying, she's like trying to get sober, but not actually.
Yeah.
But it's like a comedy, but it's like a dark comedy because we're dealing with the topic of addiction, but trying to like make light of it a little bit.
Okay, very cool. And you're having a screening soon, right?
Yes, we are going to screen it at the Mission Theater in Portland on Friday, November 24th.
Oh.
I think it starts at 8 p.m. So that it's going to be a few different shows. So it's like a screening of several shorts, whether it's like mine is a half-hour, sitcom, and I think there's probably some short films in there too. And then there's going to be a Q&A portion after the screening. But yeah, that should be really fun. It's part of the Ha Ha Harvest Festival that's happening, Thanksgiving weekend. And I'm going to be on a comedy show that Saturday. I don't know the time, but it's called Optimism is the name of the show. Optimism. So I'm going to be doing some comedy there too.
Okay, so we're going to look that up. Okay. So people just Google Optimism and Rosa McKenzie, and you'll definitely find that one.
Yeah. Ha Ha Harvest Festival, Optimism, whatever. Yeah, you can follow Ha Ha Harvest on Instagram, and they're posting about shows and stuff.
Very cool.
Yeah, it should be super fun.
Yeah.
And I'm actually going to do a couple shows in LA. I don't know if I can plug those.
Yeah, you can plug everything, yeah.
Okay, so on November 4th, I'm going to be at the Fourth Wall Comedy Cafe in Hollywood, 8 o'clock. And on December 7th, kind of a little ways away, but December 7th, I'm going to be at a place, or at a show called the Popular Kids Club. And you can find the Fourth Wall Comedy Cafe and Popular Kids Club on Instagram. They're awesome.
Very awesome. Yeah, I think most of our guests have been in Hollywood, so yeah, we could plug anything anywhere for sure. Any tour dates anywhere else on the map, or?
No, not right now.
Not right currently, but it's coming. Oh, and my tech sent me a note that they're a big fan of. I'm sure their handwriting's better than mine, mind you. Murder Casserole. Was it a true crime show mixed with comedy that you did? I know true crime is all the rage. Maybe I shouldn't say true crime's all the rage. It seems weird to say because of murder, but you know what I mean. You combine true crime and comedy with Murder Casserole, and you got a little following with that for sure. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, my friend Colin Maddox. He's a comedian in Portland. Great guy, very, very funny. He hosts a podcast called Murder Casserole, and it's true crime. And he did the first live show, a month or so ago, and he invited me to be on it, and we did it at Turn on Killingsworth. So I think he's kind of scheduling more and doing them at other venues around town, but you just kind of like, do your own comedy, maybe talk about some true crime. I actually got a really great true crime joke out of like doing that show.
Oh yeah.
That I really liked. And then we sit down with Colin and we just like it's like we're making light of death for sure.
Okay, yeah.
but like we talked about like a woman who like murdered all of her husbands and got married like 7 times and killed all of her husbands.
Oh, wait, this really happened? This is a true crime, or?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, it wasn't like a yes and experiment afterwards? Okay, whoa.
So like the premise of the show is like he brings on these comics and then and he talks about like an actual crime, and like you just kind of BS about it.
Yeah. That's interesting.
It's funny.
Yeah, no, it is. It's
so you guys can check that out too. Oh, and also I do a podcast myself.
Okay. Yeah.
That I have not really publicized. It's like we've only done, I think there's like 3 or 4 episodes. It's a monthly thing, and it's called, you can find it on Spotify, and it's called Objectively Biased, and it's about movies.
Okay.
So there's an episode about Nic Cage.
Very
where
cool.
we literally went through every single Nic Cage film. I mean, it's like a 2-hour-long podcast.
That's yeah. I love it.
I mean, Nic Cage has made like 100 films, right?
Yeah, has it been 100? Yeah, something like that, right?
Yeah. So we like go through every single one of his movies, and we picked, like, we had to agree on the top 10. It was like Nic Cage Hall of Fame. That was the.
Okay, so off the top of my head, I want to do this like SAT rules where your first answer is the correct one. Right? Okay. In my mind, I have my favorite Nicolas Cage film. On 3, how about we both say our favorite Nicolas Cage film? Let's see if we're close to each other's. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Face Off.
Adaptation.
Ooh, that's the one where he's like twins, right? He's a writer.
Yes.
Oh, I saw that like a lot. I think I saw that in LA actually, but yeah, I saw it all the time. That's a good one, yeah.
It's so good. Face Off is also so good.
Dude, okay,
Face Off.
I believe Face Off is like literally, and I don't know, shit all over me or queef all over me, whatever. I don't know, but like Face Off it's his best. He's a great actor, and like he commits 1,000,000,000%. But Face Off to me, off the top of my head at least, and it's definitely in the top 5. I think scientifically, like a robot would truly say it. It's his best acting because like him and Travolta, they do so good as their respective initial characters that when they flip faces, it's like you totally buy it. He's the other guy. You're not just like, oh, this is a great Nic Cage. This is a great Travolta. It's like, no, he is Castor Troy. Oh my God, that's Sean Archer. You're like, oh my God.
I mean, yeah. Can I
sure.
disagree?
Yeah, you can disagree 1,000,000,000% if you want. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
So my issue with Face Off is that Nic Cage is a lunatic, right? So making him play the like straight man for me is not that interesting. Like, I don't want to see him being like a normal whatever FBI agent. Like that's that's my issue with The Rock. Like why I hate it. Because he's just like not interesting. He's just like playing such a normal, boring character. And so I feel like I wish that Nic Cage had been
the bad guy longer.
The casting had been reversed.
Oh yeah.
Could have been started off as.
Yeah, they could have. Yeah, because they both did so well. They could have flip flopped it. Yeah.
Anyway, I just like love seeing.
I feel like I agree and disagree with that because I still love Face Off like how I said, but I totally feel you on the way that, because I don't love The Rock as much as everyone else does, and that might be literally subconsciously why not to me, because he's kind of boring in it. He's like, what, F you, a-hole, oh, I, push pencils, and it's like, okay, but the action's cool, but yeah.
I mean, the action's cool, fine, yeah. But
yeah.
It's just like, he's not very interesting.
But
That's why I love Adaptation.
Okay.
It's like just so freaking bizarre. Have you seen it?
I saw it at least twice, but I saw it like when it came out, or when it was new to HBO at the time, or something like that. I think so.
Okay. I revisited it when we were doing this podcast.
Yeah.
I was like, I have to watch Adaptation again, and it's just like amazing. It holds up. It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'll definitely see it because I remember loving it and everything.
Yeah. We're recording on Saturday, and what are we talking about? The episode is about horror movie sequels, prequels, and remakes.
Not the originals ever. Just the sequels.
No original. So I recently watched. I don't know if you care about horror.
Yeah, a little bit.
I like horror.
I like horror. I do. I like horror now more than I used to. I used to just not super care for horror unless it was like a really amazing film, period. Like, I like good horror. It's kind of like, I don't like country music, but if it's like really good, like, okay, I guess I like that song, but it's like kind of like that.
Sure.
But I love horror more than that. If that makes sense. But you were saying, so what'd you watch recently? Sorry.
Oh, it's just been like really I'm not, like, I will watch horror movies. I really like supernatural horror because it really, like, for some reason, I'm actually legit scared of ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, those kind of movies are really
Same.
fun because they really are scary.
This is gonna sound crazy, but like I literally, I feel like I know that I live in a haunted house. So when I leave, I say to the ghosts. Actually, why am I saying this? I'm gonna get committed. I literally say it when I'm alone. You know, I say aloud, like to the ghosts. Okay, ghosts, you can have the house for. I'm going. Like kind of like they know my schedule, so you guys can have the whole house while I'm gone, and like I'm gonna be back around. Blah blah. Please don't. You know, and I respect you, and you know, and stuff like that. Because I've had some weird experiences that were like. The lid of like the laundry, the washer came down when me and a girlfriend went down there for it, and like the washer lid came down from the upright position and was being pushed in and out, kind of like a Snapple container. It was and we both were freaked out. Yeah, and then we passed out in the hot tub when we were doing it. And I feel like I can say that to you because you're toxic, but but I passed out in the hot tub because it was so hot, you know. And like she said, the lights were flickering like when I was passed out, and then when I arose again to consciousness, like the lights were normal, and I was like, what? And so stuff like that. So I'm like, I feel like I know there's ghosts there.
Yeah.
In Laurelhurst.
Oh my god. I mean, yeah, Laurelhurst is where they would be, or like the West Hills.
Mm-hmm.
Something.
Oh, you probably know where I live. You know the pink house on Gleason with all the bird baths? That's where I live.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's about over 100-year-old house, so it's probably.
You live in that house?
Yeah.
What is the deal with the bird?
So imagine like you bring a date back there, and they're always like, I always wonder, like kind of what you're saying, like you're like, what the? Yeah.
I mean, it's like a Portland.
Yeah, it's like a landmark.
Legend.
Yeah.
Or maybe not urban legend, but like I mean, it's just like been there since I was a kid, and it's been that way since I was a kid.
Oh yeah, the landlady of my the woman who owns it, like it's her bird baths, and like, we can't touch them, and there's a bunch of antiques inside we can't touch, and the dolls. And I don't know if you ever recall of any scene like. She used to have like insane 310 garage sales and stuff. I think she has like once a year now because I think you're only allowed X amount of garage sales.
Oh my god! And there's dolls in the house.
Antique porcelain. No. I know they're called bisque dolls. I know that from just living there. No.
I won't do that. I won't do that. That's insane. Yeah. I won't do that. Haunted dolls are real. I
can give you. Well, yeah, if they are, they're there. So I can give you a tour when you're in town next, if you want, but if you dare.
Yes. Oh my god.
Your podcast special.
So I was saying, I have like always kind of liked the supernatural horror, but I'm not really like a slasher, like traditional horror movie.
Yeah, just gore.
Because that's, like I just don't need it. Like it just doesn't. Like what's the point? I don't need that. But like. Horror is such a broad genre.
Oh yeah.
And they like there's so much. So like doing this podcast has been really cool because I've gotten to see movies that like I would never have really watched on my own, but watching them is like, oh my god, this is like really good. Like those are really good.
Yeah, sometimes it feels like horror movies are like it's almost just like I don't know. The medicine to get a certain kind of story in, because sometimes you're watching, it's like this is a horror movie. It's like a love story. This is a blah blah. This is a metaphor for. Right. It's like Black Mirror before Black Mirror was a thing, kind of in a way. You know, it feels like a lot of it. You know.
Yeah. It can be super broad, like different things. I was talking to my co-hosts, and I was like, "Well, does Silence of the Lambs count as a horror?" And they said, "Yeah." And it's not like gory, but it's just like very suspenseful, and there is like murder, so it like it kind of counts.
What's your favorite like kind of ghosty supernatural movie like you were talking about? Is there one that is there one that made you realize that was your thing?
Oh, good question. So that would be like when I was a kid, there was a movie. I like can barely remember it now, but when I was very young, I want to actually like look it up right now. So there is a movie called, I want to say it's The Woman in White.
That's the name of it? The Woman in White? Oh, doesn't ring a bell. Is
that? Oh, it's the novel. Oh man.
I'm trying to think of a rare horror movie. You should see Time Crimes. That's one that like not a lot of people have seen. It's a foreign horror film that I liked. Time travel.
Lady in White?
Lady in
Maybe
White.
it's The Lady in White.
Is it American film or international?
Yeah, American.
Feels like I should have heard of that. Lady in White.
Yeah, what? I mean, I'm sorry because I'm like looking this up while we're talking, but it was something like that, and it just scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Woman was a ghost, and it was just like she was really scary. And then I think at the end, everyone's like, "Oh, she was like a good person. She's like not trying to hurt anybody or something." Huh. You think she's trying to like kill everybody throughout the whole movie. I will get back to you on that.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think this is it. I think it's Lady in White.
I'll look that up. It's got to be streaming somewhere.
Yeah, it's definitely worth a watch. But I recently saw a movie called Talk to Me.
Oh yeah, I mean I haven't seen it, but it's a new one, right? Whether you touch the hand or something, and people.
Yes.
Is that good or bad or?
It's amazing.
Okay.
I cannot say enough good things
really?
about it.
Okay. Well, don't spoil it.
Demons. Yes. Sorry. I'm gonna stop.
Oh no. Well, I mean, no, you can talk all about it, but just don't know, because I'll watch that. Okay.
It's there's some great scares.
Okay.
And yeah, definitely worth watching.
Ooh, okay. One that's really good. Have you seen It Follows? That's a hella good horror film. I was trying to rack my brain of what's one you gotta see. When it's spooky season and all.
It Follows.
If you haven't seen that, oh my god, Miss Toxic Comedian, you gotta see that. Because it's literally about fucking and haunting is what it's about. That's what it should be called. Well, okay, so it's about, without spoiling it, well, because I remember seeing the poster, I remember people, like a lot of, like, film nerds, Portland, hello, going like, you gotta see It Follows. You haven't seen It Follows, Kevin? Like, okay, yes. You're an actor and writer, and you haven't seen It Follows? Yeah, let me see it. And I saw it, and I will say it's amazing, and it blew me away, and it's just a good film, period, but especially for spooky season. But it's, let me see, it's, like, this guy's on a date with this girl, he's acting all kind of weird, looking around, and they're playing little games, like, looking at people in the crowd, like, oh, let's give them a...
Don't know spoilers. I promise I'll look it up.
Okay, yeah. Okay, without detailing it, it's pretty much even the commercial idea of it is, something's following you, it's gonna kill you, and the only way to get rid of this phantom, this thing that's following you is to fuck somebody. So say we had sex on a date, then it's following you, but guess what? If you fuck someone else, it'll follow them. And, like, you don't know what it is. So you can be looking out from your job. This isn't in the movie, mind you, but this is like an example. If you're looking at it from your job at the window and there's some weird janitor-looking guy just walking across a field in a straight line, like, that guy looks weird. Why is he walking toward me from far away? And it's that thing. And other people can't see it or whatever. And, like, it might look like your grandma. It might look like, whatever. Some dude or lady.
Weird.
But, like, it's like, whoa, it's, like, crazy. It's independent. It's really well made. It's really, creatively made and... a unique idea as far as I know. I haven't heard things. I mean, I've heard people since then say, it's like a blah, blah, It Follows. Kind of like, it's Die Hard on a Plane. Like, so it's kind of that good, I would say. But definitely check out It Follows.
Oh, yeah. I definitely
But it's been around a couple of years, so it's definitely on, like, some site that, I don't know if we're allowed to say with the strike. Whatever.
Sure. I love it. I watched a movie called Slumber Party Massacre 2.
I feel like I've heard of it, but that's a long title that I may have been thinking of. So, is it good?
1987. I mean,
nice.
It is something. It is something. Good. I don't know if that's the word, but
it's probably it's probably better. I bet it's better than it was because you wouldn't be able to make a movie from 87 now, 87 style. So it's probably like a little more raunchy, a little more this or that, a little je ne sais quoi of like, okay. Where if you watch it, then like, oh, this just sucks. But now you're like, no, that's cool.
Like the cool thing about it is that it's just so campy and over the top. And like the gore, like I love 80s horror because the gore is so insanely fake.
Yeah.
I love it. And so I think for me, that's like easier to stomach than like, I watched the newest Evil Dead. I saw that in the theater, and it was like, legit, like, the gore was, like, so realistic because, like, that's where we are now in technology.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't want to see that. I don't like
Yeah. No, yeah.
I want my horror, like, Evil Dead, the original.
Oh, geez, yeah. Did you see the series? The series was good. They made a TV series of Evil Dead.
Of Evil Dead?
Yeah, with Bruce Campbell.
What
It's called, I started rewatching it, it's called Ash vs. Evil Dead. It was, like, on, not Sci-Fi, what was it on? It was on, like, Stars, I want to say, or AMC.
Oh.
But it's complete,
Oh,
so
interesting.
wherever it's streaming, it's complete, so you can watch it all, it completed it.
Yeah.
It didn't just get a
For
cliffhanger.
whatever reason, I thought Ash vs. Evil Dead was a movie, but it's a series.
I mean, it's Bruce Campbell, so yeah, probably easy to be confused with that, just because, like, oh, it's the guy.
He was
it's
so
the guy.
hot. I watched Evil Dead 2 for this podcast, and he's, like, so hot.
Oh my god, if you think he's hot and you like Evil Dead, you would love it, because one thing it's the same. I think the first episode, and a lot of it's ran by Sam Raimi, the director and writer of the original.
Yeah.
And he directed at least the pilot. Because I remember that when I rewatched the pilot, like, oh, cool. But so it's the same vibe and everything. And they probably threw a lot of money at it anyway, but, like, a lot of the gore is the cheesy 1987 or whatever the first Evil Dead was style, as they all are, right? But it's so great with the pilot where it starts, it's like, okay, I'm in. Because it's like, you're kind of worried, a TV series based off it or whatever, but it's continuing. And the first scene he's in his trailer, and he sets up, he has a girdle underneath his shirt to go out for ladies' night. And he's still trying to be, wink, hot Ash, but, like, he's, older Bruce Campbell. Yeah. So it's funny.
That's funny.
So it's kind of like...
Yeah, it looks like the first Evil Dead was 1981.
Wow, that's wild.
Yeah. Evil Dead 2 didn't come out until 1987.
Which was, like, wasn't it like a half remake or something, right? Or...
Oh, yeah.
Because I remember everyone saying that. When I was trying to just enjoy it, I remember, like, film nerds at a party were like, it's a soft remake. And I'm like, isn't this a sequel? Anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not the kind of sequel that you would need to watch the first one to follow. You definitely, don't. And same with, with Slumber Party Massacre 2, I feel like I should go back and watch the original.
Yeah.
It's so ridiculous, Kevin. Oh, my God. But, yeah, I've had a lot of fun with the horror movies and, like, spooky season and everything, so... I was just plugging my podcast. I was like, I'm plugging everything that I'm doing.
Nice. Yeah, plug away. Toxic or otherwise. So, does your family support you being a comedian of whatever kind, or what? Or were they like, stay in Portland?
Oh, everyone is very supportive.
Oh, cool.
My dad, like,
must be nice.
Everyone is very excited.
Oh, cool.
What's that?
I was joking. I was like, must be nice. Just kidding. She's like, everyone's so supportive.
Yeah, I mean, they're like, go and do what you want. Like, it's really like, they don't necessarily care if I want to be like a scientist or a comedian. They just are like, oh, you're following your thing. That's great.
That's awesome. That's really cool. Well,
my dad will not watch my comedy though.
Because certain subject matter. Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah.
Because, all of my reels are,
Yeah.
real dirty. And we were on the phone once, and he was like, "Oh, I accidentally clicked on one of your reels."
Yeah, and support his daughter.
Like, yeah, he's like, I won't do that again. I was like, yeah.
Oh my God.
But he was very supportive of the TV show. He loves that I'm in LA. Like, he's a musician and
cool.
performer, and kind of gets it. So.
Very cool. Yeah.
Are you doing acting in Portland?
Yeah, I mean, it's slowed down a bit because for a while there was always at least 2 things filming at once, like Librarians, Portlandia, their spin-off, the documentary one. But yeah, with the strike, it's just kind of all indie stuff, so some indie stuff here and there.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, hopefully the SAG strike will be over here in the next week, is what?
Yeah, they're meeting Tuesday or Wednesday, I want to say, right? Yeah. They're meeting soon. Yeah.
Is your acting, are you more of a comedic actor, or what's your flavor?
Well, I did study improv in LA at UCB on Franklin, but kind of anything really. I like it all, as long as the script's good, or if it's a good crew that I trust. Like, oh hell yeah, anything, So yeah. Hell, I love going in method and stuff. I mean, not like asshole Jared Leto method, but like just in your head, method, then bring it up.
That's awesome. I love it.
Do you act at all, or besides? I mean, you did the rooms and everything, but are you more comedy based, or do you do drama and stuff, or?
I don't consider myself an actor, but I like acting. Like I just like if I were in a room and they were like, audition for this thing, like I would do it, but I'm not necessarily like I'm not seeking it out. Or if someone is like, oh, you would be great for this,
you wouldn't say
like,
no.
Actually, right, like the week of the shutdown in quarantine, the week that happened, I auditioned. My friend was like, hey, we're producing this one act for like this at this independent theater, and it was like her theater her acting company or whatever. Super cool, and she was like, hey, just come and audition for this part, and I did, and I got the part.
Oh my god.
And then everything shut down. So it was like about to be really cool.
Yeah.
And then I never got to do it, and it was like, after 3 years they were like, yeah, we're not going to do that. So
oh my god.
Never got to happen.
Auditions. I almost missed those in LA and stuff. Oh
boy, I haven't gone to one.
No.
It's not on my radar, really.
It feels really good when you have I was thinking about that when you were telling my story, because it's funny. I had this audition at some, I don't think it was the Comedy Store, but it was some comedy place. Because there's all these stand-up comedy people's headshots were on the wall, and but it was an audition for the show Operation Repo, where the premise of the show is kind of like Cops, but it's Repo Men, but it's all improv, like Reno 911 kind of. And it went so well. Maybe like the audition you had, right? Where it's so well, it's like, oh, I got this part. In your head, you're like, I got this part. Or like, they're not doing it. It just felt so good, And then like weeks go by, and it's like, oh shit, they're not get the part. And all of a sudden they call it this Tuesday. And but they told me, they're like, oh yeah, it's great. It's improv. You're coming, you're doing a thing. Your character's getting repoed. Oh yeah, one more thing. It's in the nude. And I was like, what? And I was like,
what?
And they're like, oh, it'll be pixelated on TV. I was like, okay, and like, can you do it? And I was like, and I wanted it, so like, yeah. So I mean, so my Operation Repo episode, I'm naked doing improv, but it's pixelated, mind you.
How bizarre!
I know. I almost wonder if they can get away with that now or not. If they get like, so, you don't have to. We offer these flesh. Yeah, sorry. In the story, my character, I don't know if it's allegedly was based off a real thing or not, but this couple, my character is getting it on with this girl in a BMW, and they start to repo, and we jump out naked, and like, hey, what are you doing? Type deal.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it wasn't like a Skinemax thing. You're like, wait, what are you doing? But,
right.
Yeah. And the poor actress, she came up there, and she was like, oh, I brought flesh-colored underwear. And like, no, they can tell. So anytime I watch TV and they're naked and it's pixelated, I'm like looking really hard now. I'm like, can you tell? I'm like, wow, you kind of can. I see a black line, or I see something, or or like, or they're really nervous.
Yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't say it too. Maybe I shouldn't tell that story too much, because then like I make it bigger, whatever, and all of a sudden people are like, we have this app that unpixelates immediately, easily. You're like, oh shit. Great. It was cold. There's always.
Oh, I'm sure you'll be fine.
We weren't really lucky. Yeah. One thing, since you're in comedy, like, do you ever get the dreaded thing where like people like when they hear you're a comedian, like, or the way they just immediately go, "Oh, you're a comedian? Make me laugh." Do you ever get that?
No? Yeah, I get two reactions.
Family gatherings.
One is, tell me a joke, and then the other one is, oh, people tell me I'm hilarious. Oh, I've always wanted to do that. I've always wanted to do stand-up, and it's like, well, do it then.
Yeah.
I guess it's especially irritating when it's a potential date, like when I was, on an app, dating app or something.
Yeah.
I tell a guy I'm a comic, and they're like, oh yeah, I've always wanted to do do that. I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
I don't want to date you.
Yeah, like, this over. Yeah.
Over before it begins. But yeah, those are kind of the two reactions I get. Either people like wish that they could do it, or they want to hear me tell a joke.
Interesting. Yeah, that's gotta be like so annoying. I just remember that like in high school, like when, I don't know, people were just like, oh, you're funny, and like, you know, every now and then people would just come up and say, I heard you're funny and make me laugh, and you're just, what?
Right.
You're just like, what?
Right.
Oh.
Yeah. Super dumb.
Mm-mm-mm.
Especially when my jokes are as inappropriate as they are. I went and visited my grandmother not that long ago, and she was like, oh, tell me a joke.
Oh my God.
Like,
Yeah.
So I told her one of my jokes, one of my most, I made it as appropriate as I could for her, and she loved it.
Okay. Was it like a PG-13 version of like a rated X joke, or what?
Well, not necessarily. It was, so she's my grandma. She like knows my, family stuff. So my mom is a paranoid schizophrenic. I talk about it on stage. I like have a joke about it. So I told her that joke, and it is like the joke itself is appropriate in the way that I'm not like talking about like fucking or it's not X-rated in that way.
Yeah.
So that was the joke. I was like, well, she knows the deal, so I'll tell her this joke. And the premise is like, my mom is crazy, and that made me attracted to crazy people. So like, my ex-boyfriend replaced all the furniture in our apartment with rocking chairs because he thought it would make me more productive. Psychos. I just like, oh, you're a lunatic? Sign me up. That sounds great. So that was the joke, and I just kind of like modified it a little bit for her.
What's the more adult version of that joke?
Oh, I think just like the language that I use,
Yeah. Interesting. So what are you doing for spooky season now, besides your once a month horror movie?
Yeah, very excited about that podcast on Saturday. What am I doing? I'm going to a film premiere on Monday that a friend of mine worked on, and I guess I will plug it.
Yeah, if they're cool with it.
While we're here.
Or
let me see. Where's the text? Pardon me. Okay, so I'm going to see a movie called Open. World premiere. Hollywood, baby. At the TCL Chinese 6 theaters.
Okay, very cool. When's that?
That is on Wednesday, November 1st, so the day after Halloween.
Ooh.
Yeah.
If
and
you survive Halloween.
It doesn't look like it's scary, but
Uh-oh.
yeah. Other than that, I don't really have any plans. I just went and saw Exorcist, Believer. That was fun. I'm moving into my apartment like the day before Halloween or something, so I'm just like, nah, I don't really care. I'm just gonna, set up, unpack boxes and stuff. That's kind of my plan.
And in
How about you?
Let's see, what am I doing? I don't have any kids, but I have nephews now, so I'm gonna take my nephew trick-or-treating.
Very fun.
He's
Do you
3.
dress up, or just
I'm gonna be Waluigi this year. You know, the evil Luigi from Mario Brothers?
fun.
I'm not a huge gamer, but I know Mario Brothers enough. But like, I have this mustache. I grew a COVID beard and everything with the whole thing. Oh, yeah, seriously. And like, I can't really shave it. People like love it so much that like, if I shave it, people are gonna like freak out. And I gotta do something with this. I don't know.
say you follow your heart, Kevin, and
It's
you
true.
do what you want, and you don't let anybody dictate your actions.
Well, I mean, not to be toxic, but it's like, you always want to look attractive to whoever you're into, the opposite sex in my case. But in the world, you want to be, attractive to the world. But like, one thing I've noticed with this facial hairstyle, I dig it. I mean, I like it myself, I do. But like, you know, people comment on it, they notice it, they like it. When I'm in public, I get like, you know, almost inordinate amount of compliments on it. So it's like, okay. Whereas before, you know, I used to change my facial hair with the seasons or with the wind, whatever I felt like. You know, I want, you know, no mustache. I want a mustache. I want something. You know, I want chops. I want the Wolverine. I want that, whatever. You know, and like, but then you never knew if people liked it or not. You know, this girl's give me a little smile when she walks by. Is it because of this or that, or it doesn't matter? But with this, it's like this barometer's like over the top. Like, I don't know, the optimal look for my face to the general populace. So, to the point that I know if I did shave it for me, and I probably will one day, but people would kind of freak out-ish. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to get a mustache wax promotion or something. Become the local Tom Peterson or something like that, but this facial hair or something like that. Get on Outrageous Audio or whoever. Right. See, now I'm just dropping Portland references that only you get and like 4% of my audience get or something like that. Sorry, Jeff Gianola. There's a new face of Coin 6 or whatever channel it's on.
Wait, did Jeff Gianola have a mustache?
He did not. Yeah, I know he didn't. But I'm just talking about being a Portland icon or something. Who was the? Wasn't it?
Didn't either.
He didn't need it, but he's a Portland icon. Okay, what about Bud Clark? Governor.
And Gloria too. Don't forget
Yeah,
about
and Gloria too. I remember that before
Gloria
video.
too.
Mm-hmm. People are like, what the hell are they talking about? They're saying words.
Yeah, right. If you know, you know.
Mm-hmm. Shit. But I'm gonna be Wario because I want to do something with this mustache in a costume. So definitely trick or treating, horror movie-ness. Yeah. Oh yay
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
How much longer are we doing this? It's been an hour.
I've taken up plenty of your time, and you plugged your stuff and like at least 2 friends, I think. So I guess you can get early release with good behavior. Not there's a time limit. There's usually like about an hour. These are usually, but there's no rhyme or reason. You know.
Okay. Did you have any more questions for me?
No. You're free to go. I don't even know where you were on a certain date or anything. Or something. Your whereabouts.
What's that?
Oh, I was just saying your alibi checked out, so I don't need to know any more questions of dates of where you were.
Right. Cool. Well, thank you so much for having me on the show. This was great. So fun.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for doing it. I saw some of your clips online. In fact, I think the one that attracted me to you that I was like, okay, who is this? I'm looking her up. Was the joke you told on the show about the being bi enough to get dick or whatever, you know, and like you had like yeah, the first girl you're with was in the audience.
Yeah, right.
That was good.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Thank you.
So everyone check out The Rooms, the pilot that's probably gonna blow up into much more, I'm sure.
Sure.
And all that jazz. All right, Rosa, thanks so much for doing it.
All right. Thank you so much, Kevin, and be in touch. Let me know what happens when you drop it and all that.
Oh yeah. All right. So
Cool.
thanks. Yeah, thanks for up in the West Coast, the Best Coast, the Beast Coast.
Absolutely.
From Hollywood to Portland.
Yeah. All right. Take care, Kevin. Thanks.
Late.
All right. Bye.
And that was the great Rosa McKenzie. I hope you guys were entertained as much as I was. Yeah, she's a kind of a legend here in Portland and gonna blow up in Hollywood, I'm sure it sounds like by the looks of it. She's in the Hollywood Hills. Wait, I shouldn't say. Anyway, she's in Hollywood now. That's where she says. I was saying it like as if that's her studio or something like that. But from Portland to Hollywood, rocking it. Not to be toxic, but from the to the so rocking it like the golden taint of comedy. That sounds horrible. Anyway. But thanks again, Rosa McKenzie. You've been awesome. Portland thanks to you. Hollywood is grateful. And we'll be right back with another message.
What's better than your favorite talk show? Well, maybe homemade delicious food, cold beer, or a drink of your choosing in a comfortable atmosphere. Well, look no further than the Boulevard Tap House. For the world-famous fish and chips, seafood, all-around delicious menu with pizza, all kinds of food, wings, steak bites, anything you can imagine when you want to watch the big game or catch some live jazz if you pick the right night. Open 7 days a week, go to boulevardtaphouse.com right now. I like to go to their Terwilliger Curve location. That's the home location for their not only their fish and chips, and they knew that they always used to give me Caesar chicken salad and wine. They kind of made jokes and made fun of me of that. My favorite food there now might just be the brand new Mark Kevin. That's a margarita pizza named after me. Don't know if they did it because I'm Italian or what, but I had it, and it is delicious and, dare I say, nutritious. Anyway, friends, go on in, have a great time. When you're there, you truly are family. No cap. Enjoy the Boulevard Tap House today. Thanks again to tonight's guest, Rosa McKenzie. If you're watching this on the YouTube, well, like and subscribe. And if you're listening to us on Spotify, Amazon Music, or wherever you listen to your stuffs, don't forget to subscribe and check us out on the patreon.com/thatkev1show. And on YouTube, coming soon to Roku, or probably by the time you're listening to this, in fact. And of course, our audio visual feast every month on patreon.com. Those are special. And new stuff there every day. Also find me at True Kevin Michael Watson on Instagram and much more. So yeah, what else can I say? Like, subscribe, live your life. Good night.